Welcome back to Shiny Happy Couples, How to Detoxify Your Relationship. In this lesson, we will continue exploring the environment section of the Mel Fox method and discuss the importance of maintaining an understanding mindset when resolving conflict with your partner. The subjects we will cover are 2 conflict resolution mindsets, being curious versus being judgmental, the desire to understand, and the real secrets to healthy relationships. We have a lot to go over, so let's get started.
As explained in earlier lessons, removing resentment is the key to resolving conflict. When engaged in the purposeful conflict resolution process we call interaction, keep in mind that resentment is the opponent, not your partner. This is a concept that you will hear throughout this course. In the game of effective conflict resolution, you and your partner are on the same team and see resentment as your common opponent on the other side. But as we all know, staying on the same side, especially when discussing subjects with conflict, is easier said than done. Let's take a look at what usually happens in the real world. When discussing subjects with conflict and resentment, you protect the threatened belief or assumption from scrutiny by fighting with, shielding from, or fleeing from the threat. And what is the source of the threat? Your partner, of course. As long as you protect that belief from scrutiny, you remain in that knee-jerk, reactive, fight or flight, me versus you mindset. You see you and your partner as opponents on opposite sides of an argument, like being on opposing sides of a tennis net. This mindset is called traditional relationship logic. But wait a minute, isn't your partner your partner? Tennis partners stay on the same side of the net. They don't ever jump to the other side. Yet that's exactly what we do when we argue. We spend our time battling each other and building resentment instead of working on resolving the issue that caused the argument in the first place. Conflict is resolved when you see each other on the same side and work together to battle the resentment, the common opponent. We call this the Mel Fox mindset. So stay on the same side and resolve the issue. But it's not that easy. The fact is, when discussing the subject with conflict, you sometimes can't help but see your partner on the other side of the net, even if it's just for a moment. It is at those times that our normal defensive reactions kick in, as we will discuss in the egoity section of this course. To illustrate this point, let's compare conflict resolution to taming a horse. It is normal and natural to get defensive when a horse rears up. Even the most skilled and experienced horse trainers may get startled. An inexperienced trainer may get mad at the horse for scaring them, cower in a fetal position, or even run away. An experienced and competent trainer knows how to regain control quickly. This course will teach you the skills needed to quickly recover when your partner rears up. As you will learn throughout the course, one of the key concepts to effectively resolving any conflict is to have a burning desire to understand your partner, a desire that outweighs your fear of vulnerability. One way to better understand your partner is to ask questions, but asking questions, as we have all no doubt experienced when resentment is involved, sometimes evokes a defensive response that prevents effective exchange of information. When you or your partner ask something, there is always a decision made when it comes to motive. The questioner may be seen as curious for information, or the questioner may be seen as judgmental. When we ask our partner something, do we honestly just want information, curious, or are we a little on the critical side? This mindset will determine what is asked and how it is asked. We will go much more into the important role that inflection and the choice of words play in activating normal defense reactions in later sections. This curiosity or judgment choice isn't limited to questions. With just about anything said, the listener needs to instantly discern whether it is benign or possibly said with malice. The factors that determine this choice include the manner in which the statement is said, the level of resentment the relationship has at the time, and our awareness of the impact this decision will have on our level of resentment and the rest of the conversation. In other words, knowing how vital it is to keep the conversation on the right track helps you choose the right words and the right inflection. By understanding the impact of what is said and how it is interpreted, we will better be able to maintain control and keep the conversation from eroding into something that may add even more resentment. If you go into a conversation being judgmental, understand that this can only add to the resentment you already have. Similarly, you may go into a conversation feeling judged. Understand that this too can only increase resentment. In order to keep the conversation on the productive path to removing resentment, you may want to have something like this curiosity affirmation in the back of your head. When I speak, I will always be curious, not judgmental. The words I use and the way I say them convey a sense of wonder. I have a burning desire to understand my partner. When I listen, I will always assume my partner is being curious, not judgmental. If there's ever a question of the partner's motive, I will calmly ask, I have a burning desire to understand my partner. As stated earlier, one of the primary concepts of this course is that issues are resolved by having a big enough desire to understand your partner. This should be the mindset throughout any conflict resolution process. There are few things in life that can compare to the pleasure we experience when we feel that somebody truly understands us. We feel gotten. We feel totally connected to that person. Keep in mind that your partner wants to experience that feeling as well. It is the absence of understanding that causes conflict. Remember our definition of resentment: the feeling of disdain caused by the non-acceptance that an individual presumably is, did, or believes something that does not match one's belief about or expectation of that individual. It is only through the process of understanding that we will reconcile the difference between our expectations of our partner and their actions. Without this understanding, attempted conflict resolution becomes just a defensive battle, and as a result, nobody wins and nothing gets resolved. If you don't have a big enough desire to understand your partner, conflict resolution would be like trying to clean your kitchen floor with a bucket of mud. No matter how hard you try, the floor stays dirty and keeps getting dirtier as you scrub away with nagging, sarcasm, yelling, and moaning. You take out your frustration on your partner instead of focusing on understanding your partner. Just like trying to clean the floor with mud, battling with your partner puts the conflict resolution process in reverse. It actually adds fuel to the fire and makes resentment even more toxic. Not making understanding your partner the primary focus in conflict resolution is like saying you don't want to resolve the conflict. Focusing on understanding your partner transforms an argument into mutual cooperation. In other words, it makes all the difference. Once you internalize that concept, you are well on your way to understanding effective conflict resolution. Here is the secret to restoring and preserving a healthy relationship. Know how to resolve conflicts. That way, when an issue comes up, any issue, you will know how to get rid of it. In this course, you will learn how to deal with issues head-on by resolving them, not surrendering to them and coping with the resulting resentment. Coping with resentment is like hiding a rash on your face behind makeup. The rash is still there, but you've learned to cope with it. You feel that the only way to deal with the situation is to hide away part of yourself since you didn't know how to get rid of the rash. It is only when we discover and eliminate the cause of the rash that we are able to shed the makeup and reveal our true self. When you choose to cope with relationship issues, it's like hiding part of yourself from your partner. You feel the need to protect yourself behind a veil of distrust. In a healthy relationship, you trust that your partner is not intending to hurt you. No matter what they say, no matter how they say it, you know they didn't say it with malice in mind. The instant that is not true, and you feel that what was said or done was intended to hurt you, trust and the desire to understand are suspended, and you see your partner is not on your side. It is sometimes really easy for us to fear getting hurt and to jump to the conclusion that somebody said or did something purposely to hurt us. But how are we sure that this was their true intention? Did we ask them? Maybe they were teasing and you thought they may be serious. Maybe they misspoke. Maybe you misheard. We will get to the quality of shared information and its effect on our autonomic defense system in the next two sections, and ideas on controlling this normal and natural reaction in the interaction section. To summarize, when our vulnerability outweighs our desire to understand our partner, we become defensive and we feel we have to protect ourselves from our partner. We defend by arguing, clamming up, or hiding away.
On the other hand, when your desire to understand your partner outweighs your vulnerability, the proper environment is in place to resolve any issue and effectively detoxify your relationship. Well, that's all for this lesson. Next up is environment wrap-up and review. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.